Cycler birthday with the package from China. So let's go. Hey, welcome back to the channel. It's awesome that you're tuning in. In today's video, we just wanted to do a review here of the Q2 and Subor handheld and retro emulation machine. And there are so many of these cheap devices out there. However, I found it a quite interesting one because, yeah, with the price points now, the gap between the very cheap ones and the decent ones, like Neo Mini, are getting really close. And are these things still worth picking up? So let's do a quick overview. The Q2 is the model. Rated voltage is 5 volt that we're going to be needing. It's only getting a 1000 milliamp battery in the inside, so that's not a lot itself. But is it any good, and what can we actually play, and how is the overall emulation performance? Sometimes I am surprised by some of these devices, how good or how bad they actually are. So this is a model that we do have seen before. I mean, particularly when it comes to very old, let's say, products in the past. However, having the D-pad, no analog stick, and the ABXY. So one of the first impressions is when holding it, it is quite comfortable. It's more like a mini Game Boy, and that's absolutely great. So to begin with the D-pad, it has like this very nice curve and gives it like a very nice overall feel. Also, if you're going to be like touching it, it's very comfortable. The D-pad feel is also very nice, having very nice feedback. The ABXY buttons are a little bit, let's say, there's more distance between of them, but they're quite big. And the overall feel, where there's a little bit of wiggly feel, it is a very nice touch, and also have this very nice round shape. Select and start and speaker. At the side we're having the on and off switch over here, we can turn it on. Here we're having the... What? What the heck is going on with that? Okay, so having the SD card. So the SD cards, and this is just such a big problem with these devices now. I mean, 32, that's it. Like, there's no brand, and I wish they stopped using it and just getting like good brands. It don't need to be like a SanDisk, Samsung, stuff like that, but just like at least a Chinese brand that's decent enough to have an overall, let's say, better result on the long run. Because if you're getting these things, please back up your, let's say, SD cards. So in here we're finding a battery 1000 milliamp, like they stated on the box. I need to be very careful with this. Let's see if we can remove it like that. Oof, it's very tight in there. Very difficult to get out. But the thing I wanted to check out is, can we replace it fairly easy? At the side we're also having the volume control underneath the the on and off switch. And we do have this reset button where we can use for getting in and out of menus. The L and R, the shoulder buttons, are placed quite nice. I have not, let's say, this is not overall the best experience, because you always need to like hold this thing in a very strange way to actually activate or push these buttons down. But the feel itself is quite interesting. You can see that it's a little bit wiggly too, but the overall touch is not super bad. So another thing is like the display quality. You can see the front glass, it's very hard plastic, kind of glossy when it comes to that. But the display quality in overall is not bad at all. But how about the interface and how everything works? So first of all, this is more like a multimedia device that we've seen before. The first impression is that the menu works quite fast when it comes to that. Oh yeah. And the music player seems to be working just fine. Images. Bah. So you can just clearly see how good it overall is when it comes to the pictures. We can even watch an AV video. No idea what it is, don't want to know. But we can read an ebook if you want to. And the folder, we can basically just scroll through the SD card. Setup, language, backlit can even be adjusted to 10. That is crazy, to be honest, really crazy. So backlight can be adjusted to saying 30 seconds need to be off. Output can be on and off. And that's kind of interesting, because there isn't jack out there on the bottom, but there's only for audio. That's how it's supposed to be. So I'm guessing this is in general overall software. We can shut down the key, tune if you want to. So if you don't like that, product information. So it says the amount of free space, the software version. So it's quite interesting to see what you can also do with it. So loading up into the menu. So far so good. It's the same kind of menu that I've seen before with different devices, like the X series. So most of the time that's not a good thing. But let's get into some gaming. We can play NES, Game Boy Color, Advance, Mega Drive. There's no PlayStation 1 emulation? No. So it's quite limited. But let's see if it's any fun. Start off with some NES. Pressing the reset button will automatically go back to the menu itself. But that's it. There is no extra, let's say, save. Back button don't do anything with the NES. Whew, we do have like a lot of screen tearing. Okay, so this is actually the turbo button. Okay, so okay, interesting way how they configured everything. D-pad plays quite comfortable, but so far everything seems to be working just fine. Let's go back into the game. It's kind of cool that it automatically saves it. If you're going to be putting it in here, you can just save the file. Let's go to the loading state. Yeah, it's interesting. It's kind of weird, kind of messy, because normally we have like these extra options. We don't have that over here. So that's kind of cool. We can load up different systems. Here we can get into the Mega Drive, play a game, boot it up fairly easy. So let's go with a different game. Instant boot, no problem whatsoever. But it's interesting to see that we do have bezel, so trying to get ourselves the best pixel perfect overall gameplay. Very surprised with the overall gameplay. So far, everything seems to be emulating quite nice. Still the same problem when it comes to, let's say, the menu. So there's a little bit of a downside. So far it's not perfect at all. But so far, so good. So one thing I'm missing with the software is the search option. And that is quite unfortunate when it comes to that. Because some of them will have this. So playing these games is not going to be a problem whatsoever. Also here we're having the save. Everything seems to be working just fine. We can just end it. Everything seems to be working the same kind of way. So when it comes to playing games, the in and out going off, like say the games, that works absolutely great. So there's nothing to complain there. However, I found that a little bit limitation when it comes to some parts where I mentioned before. So let's get into the Sonic. And let's see if we have any audio delay whatsoever. Okay, so this is not a good start. Somehow with a lot of these cheap devices they mess it up with the Game Boy Advance. You can just hear the audio is completely messed up. We do have like a massive audio delay on this. So this is not going to be an overall pleasant experience. And it's such a bummer because this is not going to be normally a problem with Game Boy Advance. Besides having not maybe even the right aspect ratio when it comes to the overall gameplay and the original aspect ratio, this is just completely unforgivable. And this is not the way I want to play these games. So far I'm very satisfied with the overall, let's say, D-pad quality. But going through, let's say, some different emulators, you can just see not everything struggles from the same, like say screen tearing and particularly the audio delay that we've seen with the Game Boy Advance. Well, let's see how the game actually plays with the D-pad. No, the inputs. Where this thing feels great, the inputs of the D-pad is not like it's supposed to be. I can actually do this. That's interesting. I can do the. No, but it was like a lucky thing going on. So they completely messed it up. But that is kind of interesting. I can get some moves out. Or is it just me? No, I think it's just like a problem with the D-pad that some parts are not they're not like having the right input. Because pressing down and right, we had like there was no way of getting a move out, but with bottom and left we did have this. So however we're going to be looking at this is just unplayable for fighting games. Of course, let's play one of my favorite beat 'em up games. So far overall emulation of MAME was quite good. Whoa. For beat 'em up games it's fine, but for like fighting games, no. This is not the way how you want to play. So let's get into the building and let's blow some people up. There we go, catch. Yeah. So let's get something cool going on with the Game Boy Classic. And this is a great example where we can just play a fun beat 'em up game. This seems to be working just fine. Not like a difference in audio levels, but besides that, this seems to be working fine too. So this is the thing that we have seen before with a lot of these devices. It's going to be a hit or miss when it comes to emulation performance, and that's not necessary. This product reminds me why I actually started reviewing these products. Just to warn you about the crappy stuff from AliExpress or China in general. Sorry, but this is just a great example in many ways, and not like the way that this thing is really bad quality when it comes to, let's say, the build quality. No, there are some really good things about this. But when you're looking at the software, it's absolutely one nightmare with so many different problems. Yeah, you can listen to music, watching pretty, let's say, naughty movie or a naughty picture. But the thing is, the gameplay. This is just in general, let's say, problem where many devices don't run like it should be. Thank you all for watching. I hope this video helped out, and it would be great to see you in the next video.